Matthew chapter 24, also known as the Olivet Discourse, because Jesus delivered it on the Mount of Olives, is one of the most important prophetic speeches in the New Testament, filled with warnings, signs, and encouragements to remain faithful. It is Jesus' response to a three-part question from his disciples, combining prophecies about the near future, the destruction of the temple, and the far future, his second coming, and the end of the age. All Jesus' teaching in this chapter can be found in Mark chapter 13 as well. In verses 1 through 3, Jesus leaves the temple and tells his disciples that its massive buildings will be completely destroyed. Not one stone here will be left upon another that shall not be thrown down. Matthew 24:2. This prophecy was literally fulfilled by the Roman army in AD 70. The key message is that Jesus is warning the disciples of a turbulent future. In verses 4 through 14, the disciples ask Jesus privately about when these things will happen and the sign of his coming. Jesus warns about false messiahs and false prophets who will deceive many. He says there will be wars and rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes. He tells the disciples that there will be persecution of believers and betrayal. He says many will fall away and betray one another. He does confirm that the gospel will be preached to all nations before the end comes. The key message is that it will not be easy to be a disciple of Jesus. In verses 15 through 31, Jesus references the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, an event signaling great tribulation. He urges those in Judea to flee to the mountains immediately, warns of false Christs and false prophets performing great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. Jesus makes clear that his coming will be unmistakable, visible like lightning across the sky. It will be accompanied by cosmic signs, darkened sun and moon, falling stars, and he will send his angels to gather his elect. The key message is that the end of times will be difficult for those who are here to experience it. In verses 32 through 35, we have a parable. Jesus compares the signs to a fig tree budding. When these signs appear, the kingdom of God is near. Heaven and earth will pass away, but Jesus' words will never pass away. The key message is that Jesus has told us the end of time signs to watch for, just like we can watch for change of seasons. In verses 36 through 51, Jesus states that no one knows the day or hour of Jesus' return, not even the angels or the Son, but only the Father. Jesus urges constant watchfulness and readiness. He compares his coming to the days of Noah, when people were caught off guard. The chapter ends with a parable about a faithful servant who is ready for his master's return versus a wicked servant who is not. The key message is that we will not know the exact time of his return, so we must be prepared at all times. There are 4 key themes in Matthew chapter 24. 1. Prophecy and signs. Jesus gives a detailed preview of the troubles before his return. 2. Deception and vigilance. Believers are warned to be discerning and watchful.
3. Certainty of Christ's return. His coming will be unmistakable and glorious.
4. Readiness and faithfulness. Since the timing is unknown, believers must live faithfully at all times. Matthew 24 records Jesus' powerful teaching about the future, delivered on the Mount of Olives shortly before his crucifixion. In response to the disciples' amazement at the temple, Jesus foretells its complete destruction, signaling that judgment and change are coming. He then outlines the signs that will precede the end. Jesus warns that following him will bring suffering, but the gospel will still be preached to all nations. He describes a time of great tribulation, unlike any before. Finally, Jesus speaks of his glorious return with power and angels, gathering his people. The chapter closes with a strong call to vigilance, because no one knows the exact day or hour of his return. Believers must live watchfully, faithfully, and ready at all times. This chapter should cause us all to pause, and ask some critical questions with regard to Jesus' warnings back then and how they apply to me today. Am I discerning about false teachings and remaining rooted in Jesus' teachings? Do I live with an eternal perspective, ready for Christ's return at any moment? How do I respond to trials and persecutions I encounter? Am I faithful in my daily life in word, thought, and action? Am I serving God diligently as I await His coming?